Welcome to Brit Buzz. Today, we're diving into the intriguing world of the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. Known as one of the most powerful and secretive intelligence organizations in the world, the CIA has played a pivotal role in shaping global events for over 7 decades. Origins of the CIA. The Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, officially came into existence in 1947, but its roots can be traced back to the height of World War II. During the war, the United States recognized the need for a centralized intelligence organization to coordinate efforts against Axis powers. This led to the creation of the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, in 1942. The OSS, led by General William J. Donovan, was tasked with collecting and analyzing intelligence, conducting espionage, and carrying out special operations behind enemy lines. It was a groundbreaking agency for its time, employing innovative techniques and recruiting a diverse group of operatives, including soldiers, academics, and even celebrities. The OSS was instrumental in coordinating resistance movements in Europe, gathering intelligence, and setting the stage for modern intelligence work. However, with the end of World War II in 1945, the OSS was disbanded, and its responsibilities were divided among various agencies. This fragmentation led to inefficiencies, and as the Cold War emerged, there was a growing recognition that a centralized intelligence agency was needed to address the new global threat posed by the Soviet Union. In response, President Harry S. Truman signed the National Security Act of 1947, which officially established the CIA. The agency was tasked with coordinating intelligence efforts, conducting covert operations, and advising the president on matters of national security. Unlike the OSS, the CIA was designed to function during peacetime, with the focus on long-term global intelligence gathering and analysis. The CIA became part of the newly created National Security Council, NSC, and was given broad authority to operate worldwide. Its mandate included not just intelligence collection but also covert actions aimed at influencing foreign governments and countering perceived threats to U.S. interests. The creation of the CIA marked a turning point in U.S. history, solidifying intelligence work as a cornerstone of national defense and shaping the country's approach to global security for decades to come. The Cold War era. The Cold War, 1947–1991, was a time of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, with the CIA playing a central role in countering Soviet influence and advancing U.S. interests globally. The agency's activities during this period ranged from covert operations to espionage and psychological warfare, shaping the geopolitical landscape of the 20th century. Countering Soviet influence. The CIA was created at a time when the Soviet Union was expanding its ideological and political reach. The agency's primary mission during the Cold War was to gather intelligence on Soviet activities and counter communist movements worldwide. Through a vast network of spies, informants, and analysts, the CIA monitored Soviet military developments, political strategies, and technological advancements. It also used propaganda and information campaigns to counteract communist messaging and promote democratic values. Covert operations. Covert operations became a hallmark of the CIA's strategy during the Cold War. These secret missions aimed to undermine Soviet-aligned governments and protect U.S. allies. Two of the most significant examples of these operations occurred in Iran and Guatemala. Iran, 1953. In 1953, the CIA orchestrated Operation Ajax, a coup to overthrow Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. Mossadegh had nationalized Iran's oil industry, threatening Western economic interests. The CIA, working with British intelligence, supported protests and propaganda campaigns to destabilize Mossadegh's government. The coup succeeded, and Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was installed as a pro-Western leader. While it was seen as a victory for U.S. interests at the time, the operation contributed to long-term instability in the region. Guatemala, 1954. In 1954, the CIA carried out Operation PB Success to overthrow Guatemala's president, Jacobo Atilde Baines. Atilde Baines had initiated land reforms that affected U.S. owned corporations, particularly the United Fruit Company. Fearing that these reforms signaled communist influence, the CIA organized a military coup. Atilde Baines was removed from power, and a pro-American regime was installed. However, this intervention sparked decades of civil conflict in Guatemala. Espionage tactics. Espionage was another critical tool in the CIA's arsenal during the Cold War. The agency ran numerous operations to acquire intelligence on Soviet plans and capabilities, including recruiting spies. The CIA cultivated agents within the Soviet Union and its satellite states. Double agents, defectors, and informants provided valuable information about Soviet military movements and technological developments. Technological surveillance. The agency developed cutting-edge technology, such as the U-2 spy planes, which conducted high-altitude reconnaissance missions over Soviet territory. The infamous 1960 U-2 incident, in which pilot Francis Gary Powers was captured, highlighted the risks of these operations. Disinformation campaigns. The CIA used psychological warfare to spread misinformation and sow discord within Soviet-aligned nations. These efforts aimed to weaken communist governments and reduce their influence. A pivotal role. The CIA's efforts during the Cold War were instrumental in maintaining U.S. dominance in the ideological and geopolitical battle against communism. While these actions often achieved short-term objectives, they also led to unintended consequences, such as political instability and resentment in the regions affected. The Cold War solidified the CIA's reputation as a powerful but controversial institution, capable of shaping world events from behind the scenes. Modernization and controversy. 1970s and 1990s. During the 1970s to 1990s, the CIA underwent significant modernization while facing some of the most controversial moments in its history. This period saw the agency grappling with challenges at home and abroad, as well as criticism over its methods and ethical boundaries. Surveillance of U.S. citizens in the 1970s. Revelations about the CIA's domestic activities caused widespread outrage. Though the CIA's mandate was to operate internationally, investigations revealed that it had engaged in surveillance and intelligence gathering against U.S. citizens. Operation Chaos. This covert program, launched in the 1960s and expanded in the 1970s, targeted anti-war activists, civil rights leaders, and other domestic groups deemed subversive. The CIA collected data on thousands of Americans, sparking concerns about violations of constitutional rights. Church Committee hearings. In 1975, the U.S. Senate's Church Committee investigated abuses by the CIA, as well as the FBI and NSA. The hearings exposed illegal activities, including unauthorized surveillance, assassination plots, and manipulation of foreign governments. These revelations led to significant reforms, including the creation of congressional oversight committees to monitor the agency's actions. The Iran-Contra affair. One of the most infamous episodes in the CIA's history occurred during the 1980s, the Iran-Contra affair. This scandal highlighted the agency's involvement in secretive and illegal activities. The plot. The U.S. government, under the Reagan administration, sought to support Contra rebels fighting against the Sandinista government in Nicaragua, which was aligned with communism. However, Congress had passed laws prohibiting U.S. military aid to the Contras. To circumvent this, the CIA and other officials facilitated the covert sale of weapons to Iran, then under an arms embargo, and used the proceeds to fund the Contras. The followed. When the scheme was exposed in 1986, it led to public outrage and intense scrutiny of the CIA's role. While some officials faced legal consequences, the scandal tarnished the agency's reputation, raising questions about accountability and oversight. Role in the fight against global terrorism. In the 1980s and 1990s, the CIA shifted its focus to emerging global threats, including terrorism. This era marked the beginning of the agency's long-term efforts to combat extremist groups. Afghanistan. The CIA played a key role in supporting Afghan Mujahideen fighters during the Soviet-Afghan War, 1979–1989. This covert operation, known as Operation Cyclone, involved funding, training, and arming anti-Soviet fighters. While the operation succeeded in forcing a Soviet withdrawal, it also inadvertently strengthened extremist factions, some of which later evolved into groups like Al-Qaeda. Counterterrorism initiatives. By the 1990s, terrorism was becoming a significant global concern. The CIA worked to gather intelligence on groups like Al-Qaeda, which orchestrated high-profile attacks, including the 1998 bombings of U.S. embassies in East Africa. These efforts laid the groundwork for the agency's intensified counterterrorism focus after 9/11. Legacy of controversy. The 1970s to 1990s were transformative years for the CIA, shaping its modern role in global intelligence. However, the agency's controversial activities during this period raised serious ethical questions. While some praised the CIA for its effectiveness in countering threats, others criticized its overreach, lack of transparency, and disregard for legal and moral boundaries. This era cemented the CIA's reputation as a complex institution capable of defending national security but also embroiled in scandals that left a lasting impact on its credibility. Post-9/11 era. The September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks marked the turning point for the CIA, redefining its priorities and strategies in the 21st century. With nearly 3,000 lives lost in a single day, the U.S. faced an urgent need to prevent further attacks, and the CIA became a critical player in the global fight against terrorism. Shift to counterterrorism. Before 9/11, counterterrorism was a growing concern, but it became the CIA's central focus after the attacks. Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden, was identified as the organization behind the attacks, prompting the CIA to launch a worldwide campaign to dismantle terrorist networks. The War on Terror. The CIA took the lead in identifying and neutralizing key Al-Qaeda figures. It established partnerships with intelligence agencies worldwide to share information and track terrorist activities across borders. Capture and interrogation of terrorists. The CIA was instrumental in capturing high-value targets, including Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind behind 9/11. These operations often involved joint efforts with military and allied intelligence agencies. Enhanced interrogation techniques. One of the most controversial aspects of the CIA's post-9/11 activities was the use of enhanced interrogation techniques, it's often described as torture. Black sites. The CIA operated secret detention facilities, known as black sites, in various countries. Suspected terrorists were held in these locations for interrogation outside the constraints of U.S. law. Methods used. Techniques such as waterboarding, sleep deprivation, and stress positions were employed to extract information. While the CIA defended these methods as essential for preventing future attacks, critics argued they violated human rights and damaged the U.S.'s moral standing. The Senate report. In 2014, the Senate Intelligence Committee released a report concluding that IDs were not effective in obtaining actionable intelligence. The report reignited debates over the CIA's methods and accountability. Drone warfare. The post-9/11 era also saw the CIA's increasing reliance on drone warfare as a tool for counterterrorism. Targeted strikes. Drones allowed the CIA to carry out precision strikes against terrorist leaders in remote areas, particularly in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia. High-profile targets, including Al-Qaeda and Taliban leaders, were eliminated through these operations. Advantages and criticisms. Proponents argued that drones reduced the need for ground troops and minimized U.S. casualties. However, critics pointed to civilian casualties, lack of transparency, and the potential for drones to fuel anti-American sentiment in affected regions. Broadening the mission beyond counterterrorism. The CIA expanded its focus to address emerging threats in the post-9/11 world. Cybersecurity. With the rise of digital warfare, the CIA began investing heavily in cyber intelligence to counter hacking, data breaches, and cyberattacks by state and non-state actors. Non-state threats. The agency worked to address challenges posed by global networks of terrorism, organized crime, and rogue actors. The legacy of the post-9/11 CIA. The CIA's transformation after 9/11 demonstrated its ability to adapt to a rapidly changing world. While its efforts undoubtedly prevented attacks and disrupted terrorist networks, they also sparked intense debate over the balance between security and civil liberties. The agency's actions during this era continue to shape perceptions of the CIA, highlighting both its vital role in national security and the controversies surrounding its methods. The post-9/11 period remains a defining chapter in the CIA's history, with lessons that resonate in today's fight against new global threats, contemporary challenges and legacy. In the modern world, the CIA continues to be a cornerstone of U.S. national security. As global threats evolve, the agency faces new challenges that require innovation and adaptability. At the same time, its legacy shapes how it operates and how it is perceived both domestically and internationally. Tackling cyber threats. One of the most pressing challenges for the CIA today is the rise of cyber threats. As technology advances, intelligence work has increasingly shifted to the digital realm. Cyber espionage. The CIA focuses on monitoring and countering cyber activities by adversaries like China, Russia, and North Korea. These nations engage in hacking, cyber espionage, and disinformation campaigns that threaten U.S. national security. Artificial intelligence and big data. The agency uses cutting-edge tools to analyze massive datasets, track patterns, and predict threats. This shift to AI-driven intelligence gathering has enhanced its ability to respond quickly to emerging dangers. Cyber defense. Beyond espionage, the CIA collaborates with other agencies to strengthen the U.S.'s cyber defenses, protecting critical infrastructure from potential attacks. Evolving intelligence challenges. The nature of intelligence work is constantly changing, and the CIA must adapt to address a range of global issues. Non-state actors. While nation-states remain a focus, non-state actors like terrorist groups, organized crime networks, and rogue entities continue to pose significant risks. These groups operate across borders, requiring innovative intelligence methods. Climate change. The CIA has acknowledged climate change as a security threat, analyzing its impact on global stability, migration patterns, and resource conflicts. Geopolitical shift. The agency monitors rising powers such as China and India, as well as regional conflicts in areas like the Middle East and Eastern Europe. These developments have the potential to reshape global alliances and power dynamics. Enduring influence on global security. The CIA remains one of the most influential intelligence agencies in the world, with a broad mandate that extends beyond traditional espionage. Counterterrorism leadership. The CIA continues to lead efforts against global terrorism, using advanced surveillance, drone technology, and international partnerships to dismantle extremist networks. Shaping U.S. foreign policy. Intelligence gathered by the CIA directly informs U.S. foreign policy decisions, from military interventions to diplomatic negotiations. Its ability to provide real-time insights is critical in a fast-changing geopolitical landscape. Collaborations with allies. The agency works closely with international allies, including the Five Eyes Alliance, US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, to share intelligence and coordinate efforts on global security issues. Legacy of the CIA. The CIA's legacy is complex, reflecting both its successes and its controversies. Achievements. The agency has been instrumental in preventing terrorist attacks, countering global threats, and maintaining U.S. dominance on the world stage. Its contributions to technology, intelligence gathering, and geopolitical strategy have left a lasting impact. Criticism and controversy. The CIA's history of covert operations, ethical breaches, and instances of overreach continues to fuel debate about its accountability and transparency. The agency's actions, both celebrated and condemned, have shaped its reputation as a powerful yet polarizing institution. Cultural influence. The CIA's mystique has permeated popular culture, symbolizing the intrigue and complexity of intelligence work. This visibility reinforces its significance but also contributes to misconceptions about its role. The road ahead as the world grows more interconnected and unpredictable, the CIA's role remains as crucial as ever. From countering cyber warfare to understanding the implications of artificial intelligence, the agency is at the forefront of navigating the challenges of the 21st century. While its legacy is a mix of triumphs and controversies, one thing is certain: the CIA's influence on global security and geopolitics is enduring and profound. Understanding its past and present offers valuable insights into the future of international relations and intelligence work. The CIA's history is a story of evolution, power, and complexity. From its creation in 1947 to counter global threats, through its Cold War covert operations, post-9/11 transformation, and its role in tackling modern challenges, the CIA has remained at the center of global security and geopolitics. It has shaped history through its intelligence work, influencing U.S. foreign policy in protecting national interests. Yet, its actions have also sparked controversy, raising questions about the ethical boundaries of intelligence operations. Episodes like the Iran-Contra affair, enhanced interrogation techniques, and drone warfare highlight the tension between achieving security goals and upholding moral responsibility. As we look to the future, the CIA's role continues to be critical in addressing emerging threats like cyber warfare, terrorism, and global instability. Its ability to adapt to these challenges while maintaining accountability will determine its effectiveness and legacy. The history of the CIA reminds us of the delicate balance between safeguarding national security and adhering to ethical principles. It's a reflection not just of an intelligence agency, but of the choices and values of the societies it serves. Thank you for exploring this fascinating journey with Brit Buzza. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. See you in the next deep dive.